G'day thrill seekers, Shane White's DirtBike Riding Schools here once again. Now you've seen some of our recent videos. My bikes that I've been riding have been full on clunkers. They're really clapped out. So instead of fixing the bike, I went ahead and brought a new one. Well, it's not new, it's new to me. It's a used bike. And so we're going to run through today on the key aspects you want to look for when you buy a used bike. And nowadays, these bikes are so bloody good. So many people go and buy a new bike, and I get it, all that. But when you're entry level, getting into it, you can find a great bike that is awesome to fit your needs, that is way, way cheaper. And it's super solid. And you can't go past an old KTM 200. This is the gold standard for a great bike to go get. Two-stroke, lightweight, tractable power. It is awesome. And here's the thing, with the KTM 200s, majority of them that you'll see out there are in great condition, because usually it's old men who just putter on around who buy them and keep them, and then they flog them off eventually. Right, so that's what this one was. My mate Chad up in Park City, he had it, and he was getting rid of it. He found a great deal on a gas 300. So he was getting rid of this thing, and yeah, great bike. So anyhow, when I saw the listing, like, all right, here we go. Let's check this out. First thing I always look for, clutch cover, right there. You see, if that's all scuffed up around here, you know it's had a lot of use, because there's a lot of foot movement going around, a lot of usage. It takes a while for that stuff to scuff away. And that one's like brand new. And you can also see from the rest of the clutch cover and the ignition cover on the other side, from the frame guards here, you can really see that not much usage there. Same with these foot pegs. The teeth are still on there. Same thing with the tip of the rear brake lever. They are the telltale signs of a bike that's been flogged out. If they are worn away, ooh, it's maybe like this one, stay back. Let's X that thing out, right? But this thing was great. So when you're looking at the photos online, you zero in on that, you see that. That's the important stuff. Not so much about the plastics. Sure, it's got great plastics on this bike, but that's easily replaced. These other parts, not too many people replace them, and that's where you can really tell the life of that the bike has had. All right, so looking through that there, rest of the things you want to look at, obviously, yeah, got good grips on there, but I don't really care about the grips. Have you seen my bikes there? Got half a grip on there, basically. No worries, 20 bucks, new set of grips. I preferably want to try and get those lock-on ones there. They're a little bit more expensive, but they work great. So it's a toss-up. Do you go for the cheap grip? Yeah, no, either or. You decide on that one. All right, so when we are going ahead and looking at the bike, you can see actually by the swing arm as well, no scuffs on there. So I already knew looking at it online that, oh yeah, this thing's had an easy life. And it was only going to be, I ended up getting for 2,300 bucks. Holy hell! 2025 to get a bike, a great bike like this for 2,300 bucks, mint, righto? So it's 20 years old, but it is mega solid. The improvement in the bikes nowadays in the last 20 years has been minimal, so to speak, comparatively speaking on that there. So when you want to go ahead, we've got good tires on there, no worries, not too stressed about that, because I go to the local dealership and I just get the freebie tires that they have from taking off other customers' bikes. So I don't really care about tires, right, because they can get free ones, right? That's all. You can go do that as well. Help those dealers out, because they just got to take them to the dump. It costs them money. So yeah, if you're on the budget recession-proof program, like I like to be, right, you can go ahead and do that. So we've got the tires here. You want to go ahead and wiggle that back tire, see if the rear wheel bearings are loose. Those ones are tight. With the front, same thing. Oh, there's a bit of play in that one, a bit of conk. But here, knowing from my experience, front wheel bearings hardly wear it because there's nowhere near as much load on them. What I think it is, it's a loose front axle. And I actually checked earlier on, and that's what it was. Right, so the axle wasn't nipped up enough. So yeah, so there you go. You can use that as a bargaining tool. Oh, your front wheel bearings are flogged out. I didn't do it with Chad because I knew pretty much what it was. You want to go ahead and check the spokes. Your little ting ting. play musical spokes there. All right, so you can see they're nice and tight. You can see by the color of them, they're not corroded and flogged out on that there. Check out the nipple. So again, this bike, it tells me that it's been lightly ridden and it's had a very easy life so far. Got the handguards. I actually got this bike for my young bloke. Just turned 14, he's on a KTM 85 at the moment, so it's time to jack him up. And actually this bike has lowered suspension by 1 inch. So you can see, that's why the rear tire's so far off the ground. Right, so, but that'll work great for him. Ultimately, we'll go ahead and get it jacked up back to normal size once he grows a little bit more. He's quite short, and price that out. It's a couple $100 on doing that. Maybe $500, whatever it is. Maybe I'll get a mate's rates from one of the guys in the industry here. My mate's down at Moto Experts, or maybe over at Alpine XC. Both those great shops there. No worries. They'll help me out on that one. You can see here with the exhaust pipe. Got the ding, it's been blown out there. No worries, I am not worried about that because we all slam into crap eventually, right? And this is the stock pipe, 20 years old. If that's all the damage it's had, you know it's hardly been ridden. So those are the types of key points that you look at going, all right, and you evaluate, all right, this thing is gonna be quite good. Next thing, the engine compression. Push down on the Kickstarter. Quite hard, a lot of compression. It's harder nowadays with the newer bikes because a lot of them are electric start, they don't have the Kickstarter, but that's the great thing about this. One way of checking the compression as well is you go ahead and put the bike on some concrete, something like that, some pavement, and you put it in gear and you push it back and forward. And if the rear tire skids, it means it's still got a lot of compression. Nowadays with those electric starts, you need to go ahead, because you can't push down on the Kickstarter, you want to go ahead and may preferably do a compression test, bring a tester along. But an easy way of doing it, putting it in gear. Obviously the 4 strokes, they're a little bit more compression what the 2 strokes are. But we'll show this here. I've got this bike, I'll do an extra clip here of this bike on the concrete, doing that, pushing down on the Kickstarter. Then putting it in gear and rocking it back and forward. See, the rear tire is just skidding. Then I get the old clunker 200 that I've got, which is actually a newer model than this one, but she's flogged out, she's been well used. You'll see push down on the Kickstarter, it'll go down way easily. And then actually when I push the bike, the rear tire just kicks on over, or turns over I should say, because there's low compression. So that really helps you understand how much compression there is in the engine without even actually running it. If it was low on compression, again, no worries, easy to put a top end in this bike. Obviously, once you start up, you hear if there's piston slap, if there's rattle in there, all that sort of type thing. This thing doesn't have it again. It's probably still on the original piston rings, or maybe it's had one change. So yeah, it's an easy life on that. Make sure that you check the brake pads and the discs for excessive wear. This bike here has got brand new brake pads in the rear, in the front, but the main thing, feel the disc right there. You run your fingers up and down it there. If it's a big ledge in between from where the pads are wearing, or are touching I should say, to the other part of the disc, then that shows it's had a lot of worn, shows it's probably been run on the metal pads, or after the pads have worn out, run on the metal for a while. I'm guilty of that one, so I know that. So yeah, give it a nice little stroke there, a little caress, and you feel that. Also check out the chain and sprockets. This one again, brand new essentially chain and sprocket, so yeah, looking good on that. With the engine oil, quick little undo the bolt. If you got the sight glass, utilize that. Make sure she's set, check it out, see what color it is. So if you don't have the sight glass, pull that bolt out. whilst you're there and see what kind of oil comes out, where she's black, right, or whether it's milky, right, or where she's clear, right. That's what you want to check out there. That's, again, a great indicator of the wear and the usage and the care of the bike in the past. What else? I see around here, another thing when I went to check out the bike on this side here, on the muffler, go ahead and check out right on the far end there. You can see the oil, the spooge, all right? That spooge comes from when people just cruise around slowly, so old man syndrome right there. So again, another indicator that this has had an easy life for the duration of it. What else we have to look at? Everything else, like I said, the ignition cover, the shift lever, they are all lightly warm, lightly worn, if even that. When you do go to pick up a bike or go look at one, make sure you hit up the owner and say, hey, let's take the seat off, let's take the fuel tank off, because the devil is in the details underneath. That tells you a lot about how that owner has taken care of the bike. So I'll quickly rip the seat off, quickly take the fuel tank off, and we'll check it out. So I've got the tools here. One thing also you want to check out, see if there's any residual oil from leaking fork seals. This bike does not have that. We'll grab this one here, undo this real quick, and I see with this here, the bolt that's in here under the seat is not the stocker, but no worries, people go ahead and they lose those bolts. Yep, no worries on that. Alright, so we'll change this out. Now we'll take off the fuel tank here. Again, the little rubber grommet locator bushing that's in here is upside down. I see that, just know from my experience on the way it's supposed to be. We'll swap that around, and that's got the wrong bolt in there again, just been lost during the years. Yep, no worries, understand that one there. We'll do another video on correct bike setup before you go ride. We'll show you that, about changing that out. Take off the fuel line, all good on that. Now, I'll go ahead and get this one here. Take this bolt out, and then we'll do the other one. All right, all good there. Now, what I did notice the other day when I was having a look at it, I just picked this bike up the other day, haven't even ridden it except for up and down the street, a couple hundred meters. But on this side over here, there is another bolt lost, and there's a Phillips head in there. Now, this is way tightened up. Here's a little trick for you. Get your shifter, or your crescent wrench as the Americans call it, or us Aussies we also like to call it the AFS, which is any fucking size, right? So it's adjustable, right? So hard to undo this one, and you want to strip it out on the head of that Phillips head. So you just go ahead and put your AFS on there, put some pressure in there, and you just use that extra leverage there. Hey, up here for thinking, down there for stinking. All right, so we got that loosened off. Get that one out. Now I just lift it up, you take it off. Ugh. Up you come, good thing. There we go. So now we can see underneath. And if the person you want to buy it from refuses to do this, that's a big red flag. So it only took a couple minutes, take it off. From there you can see under the frame, yeah, a little bit of dust, but not heaps of caked in mud, everything like that. You can get to check things out. All right, everything looks quite good here. All right, with this. In the air box, we can see there, a little bit of residual dirt. Yep, no worries. You can check out the air filter. Yep, it's all super clean. So you'll know that old mate likes to take care of his bikes. So, all right, all good with that. That pretty much sums it up. So don't get suckered into thinking you need to go buy a new bike, especially if you're zeroing in on the two strokes. Get a lighter, smaller, underpowered bike, or lesser powered bike, I should say. And it's a great bike to learn with, it's a great bike to ride. I love riding these smaller capacity bikes because you can ride it more to its potential. You can more easily feel like a hero instead of a zero. You can get on, smashing around, you can put a good rider on any bike and they can make magic happen. So, wrapping it up, the KTM 200, yeah, I'm a little partial to them, way back in the glory days and all that, but where there's a YZ125, whatever it may be, a CR250, back in the day, all great bikes. Go through those things you look at that I just ran through, and they'll help you zero in on whether she's a good bike. And even then, these older two-strokes, doesn't take a great deal of money to go ahead and fix them back up if there is some issues. So, all good on that. I suppose a better kicker in the guts real quick. Just move that out of the way. See if she fires up. Even though it doesn't have the fuel tank on, still got some fuel in the carby. Choke on. Listen to that. Sweet. One other thing I forgot to mention, you might have seen the puffs of smoke come out of the header pipe there. And you have looked down at the header pipe there and see some oil residue from where it's getting blow by on it. No worries. A couple of sets of a set of O-rings there and a bit of gasket goop, and you're set to go. So a couple of bucks, yeah, no worries. The main thing is, even though it's been dinged on the pipe there, it's been blown out, and the pipe is still straight. And when it goes into the header, goes into the exhaust port on the cylinder, it's dead set straight and flush. So I know it's good to go. And when I see all that oil and residual on that header pipe there, that is just a matter of a couple of O-rings and some gasket goop, and you're good to go. So other than that, what a great bike. I'm stoked. I'm jealous of my young bloke. I'm actually gonna go rip it whilst he's not around and go smash it. And so yeah, looking forward to it. Righto, so get out there, get cracking on it. There are a lot of great bikes that you can find for sale. So those are the key points you want to look at. If you want some more information on the DirtWise riding schools that are coming up in the future for 2025, check out ShaneWatts.com. You'll find all the info there. Same with the DirtWise instructional DVDs. You can purchase them on ShaneWatts.com. All right, get on cracking, go roost it.